and I am the program lead for the MSc International Construction Project Management and the MSc Quantity Surveying. So this morning, basically, we're going to quickly run through what this program entails. The plan for today is to quickly give you an overview of the program itself, the modules you'll be undertaking in trimesters A, B, and C, the cohort-specific program journey, the exit awards that you can get depending on what you've passed as part of the taught modules, the delivery methods, and some additional supports that we have in place, the type of assessment or assignment or group work that you undertake as part of the program, and the professional bodies that accredit this program. And at the end of the day, we'll have some time to take on the questions while I try my possible best to provide you some answers to your questions. This program runs here in Glasgow and in London. We run it as a full-time program, we run it as part-time, and we run it as distance learning. A full-time student will normally come in either in September or in January, and they do 8 taught modules over the course of their time here, and I'll explain that in more detail. The part-time students can start at any time like the full-time students too, but the difference between the full-time and the part-time is that the full-time students will undertake 4 taught modules in one trimester, while the part-time will undertake 2 taught modules in a trimester, and that applies to the distance learning students as well. So overall, you undertake 8 taught modules over the course of your MSc program here, and that normally takes place in trimesters A and B. We have the dissertation program, which runs in trimesters A, B, and C, and I'll explain what the dissertation involves too. I'll give you some program-specific modules and the content of some of the modules and the shared modules. And the next slide. For the International Construction Project Management students, the program structure is as follows. You will undertake 4 taught modules in your first trimester. So trimester A is when you start in September. So if you start in September, you should complete your trimester A between September and January. And within that time, you undertake the management of safety and health, you undertake sustainable design and construction, and these 2 taught modules are specific to the International Construction Project Management students. The 2 modules for Tri A that are colored orange are shared modules that you undertake between the ICPM meaning International Construction Project Management, and the quantity surveying students, or the QS. So the construction economics and procurement, construction contracts, and dispute management are shared modules for ICPM and QS students. So overall, in your first trimester as a full-time student, you would have accumulated around about 60 credit units when you pass all your taught modules. In trimester B, the ICPM students would undertake the strategic management in construction and property enterprise that is specific to the ICPM program. And you undertake 3 taught modules that are shared between ICPM and the QS cohort. When you've passed all your 8 taught modules, you have the opportunity to now undertake your dissertation. And that is what actually gives you a total credit to graduate or exit this program with an MSc, and I'll explain that. So the table that you have right in front of you is for the ICPM students, and I'll talk about the QS cohort too and the structure. If you come in for the MSc Quantity Surveying, you do these taught modules too. You do the design economics and cost planning and the construction technology. These are specific to the QS cohorts. And the construction economics and procurement and the construction contracts and dispute management are shared modules between the QS and the ICPM cohort. The same pattern like I've explained before, 60 credit units in a trimester if you're full-time. And I will explain the difference between a full-time, like I said earlier on, undertaking 4 taught modules and a part-time or distance learning undertaking 2 taught modules in the next couple of slides. So in trimester B, which runs from January to around about early May, you undertake the quantification and costing of works, the construction project management, risk and value management, construction and financial management are shared modules between the QS and the ICPM program. At the end of your study period, when you've passed all your 8 taught modules, you undertake your MSc dissertation. And the next table would explain the breakdown of all of this. Let's take, for example, a student who's coming into this program on a full-time basis and starting in September. This September start is our Tri-A. So when a student comes in full-time, they do 4 taught modules from September up until January. And you conclude those 4 taught modules. The Tri-B kicks in January, and the full-time student will undertake 4 taught modules as well, and that would be completed round about the end of April, early May, worst case. The trimester C will be when you undertake your dissertation. That is when you start round about early May, and you conclude it first week in August. So basically, in trimesters A, you would complete 60 credits. In trimester B, you complete 60 credits. And in trimester C, the dissertation is 60 credit units. So overall, for your full-time program that you start in September, you would have accumulated 180 credit units to have an MSc. If you're starting up in January, that is the one we tag as the Tri-B. As a full-time, you undertake 4 taught modules. So basically, you'll be in a class sharing a same classroom with those who started in September before you, because you'll be undertaking the same modules in the Tri-B. If you pass all the 4 taught modules in your Tri-B, means you have trimester C free. You don't have to do anything. However, if you fail any of the taught modules in trimester B, trimester C is when students have the opportunity to undertake their resits to pass all the failed elements within the taught modules. So you continue the journey in trimester A and complete all taught modules, and in the January of the following year, you'll be starting up your dissertation to complete your MSc program. For the part-time and distance learning students, they undertake 2 taught modules because these are people that are either in full employment, they are not located in or situated in Glasgow or in London, and they can do these 2 taught modules with the understanding that they have a full-time job to do. They do 2 taught modules per trimester, and it runs over 4 trimesters for them. And at the end of the day, they undertake their dissertations too. The difference, however, is that for full-time students, they do 4 taught modules per trimester. Part-time students do 2 taught modules per trimester. And when they come to the point of them completing their dissertations, they have 2 trimesters to complete it. So if we solve the very simple maths here, they do 30 credit units per trimester, and over 2 trimesters, the part-time or distance learning students would have completed 60 credit units over 2 trimesters for the taught modules, and they do 2 trimesters to complete 60 credits as well, which is why they have 2 trimesters to complete their dissertations, because the dissertation is a 60 credit unit module. If the part-time starts in January, it follows the same pattern as the ones that started in September, 2 taught modules until they complete their dissertation. So it takes longer to complete as a part-time or a distance learning student. However, for you to proceed to the dissertation, you must have passed all the 8 modules that are taught, and any other elements within 8 modules, or any other assessment within those 8 modules. The pass mark to proceed to the next level is 50%, and that is how we proceed with this program for students. So I'll give you an example of what it takes to either graduate with the type of exit award segment. Our program has 8 taught modules. Each module is allocated 15 credit units. The dissertation itself is 60 credit units. So if you've accumulated 60 credit points, a student would exit the program with a postgraduate certificate. That means that student who would have passed or should have passed 4 taught modules without the dissertation. If a student has accumulated 120 credit points, they graduate with a postgraduate diploma. They've passed all 8 taught modules, excluding the dissertation. If a student has accumulated 180 credit points, they graduate with a Master of Science, and that means they've passed all the 8 taught modules, including the dissertation. I think for you to make a merit or a distinction in this program, you must pass all the elements of your assessment in one go. So if you fail an element, that will not happen. Graduating with a merit or distinction is out of the picture. How do we deliver this program? This is now post-COVID, so we are trying to come back full-time on campus, face-to-face lectures, and all the materials that you would require for your learning and your teaching are available within our GCU Learn, or what we call the Blackboard. Our GCU Learn on Blackboard is our virtual learning environment where materials are made available to students that are undertaking this program, be it full-time, part-time, or distance learning. There are additional support provided by the Learning Development Center within our school. And for Glasgow students, you have access to them. And if you're based in London, you have access to the London Learning Development Center as well. If you've progressed through all the taught modules, I personally am involved in running the research method session for dissertation students. That is where we give you a thorough grounding of what it takes to undertake a research at master's level and the requirements for dissertation to be successful. There are other resources that we make available too. There are the library sessions, which a student can do a walk-in and book an appointment. And there's the LinkedIn Learning, there's the GCU Apps Anywhere, and this is a web-based tool that provides students with access to a lot of university software. So when you come onto this program, the big question is, how do you get assessed? We assess you based on different modes. It could be either a coursework, it could be an online discussion board, it could be blogs, it could be software-based exercises, it could be case studies that are based on real-world projects, it could be writing academic reports, online tests, and the dissertation, which is at the very end of your taught modules. That's when you've passed them. We've got these programs accredited by professional bodies. I think it's important for me to say here that we are amongst the very few universities in the UK that have got both programs accredited by 3 professional bodies. So the MSc, ICPM, and QS are both accredited by RICS. So RICS is the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. Both programs are accredited by the Chartered Institute of Building, the CIOB. The ICPM program is further accredited by the Association for Project Management, and the QS is further accredited by the Chartered Association of Building Engineers. Most of us that lecture on these programs are chartered members of one of these professional bodies. Sometimes these professional bodies come onto our campus to have presentation sessions with students. As a GCE student, you have a free membership to join any of these professional bodies. These professional bodies as well organize conferences that are either in the UK or outside of the UK, and students have the opportunity to attend if they wish to. These institutions as well organize competitions and student challenges. And an example recently was our students from the ICPM program are going to Dundee to attend the CIOB Student Challenge program. And that has been beneficial to students that are currently in the program and previous students that have graduated in terms of jobs. So basically, I think this is a rough idea of what this program or both of these programs involve and what we do. And I think I'm going to open the floor for you to ask any questions just now. If there aren't any questions at all, I'm more than happy to take them right now. Are there any questions coming through at all? Right, if there are no questions, maybe I can just wrap this up just now. And okay, yep. I think there is one in the Q&A. Okay. We used to accept that just post-COVID, but I think right now the requirement is IELTS, and that is clearly specified in the program admissions page. So we require IELTS, not Duolingo, for English anymore. If you have any question regarding the program, regarding Glasgow, whatever question you have, I think I'm more than happy to kind of like provide you some more insight on what we do and how best to go about your applications or coming to study here at GCU. So you can type in your questions, and I'm more than happy to address that for you. Is there any other person with question at all? So if you've got stuff in your mind that you are unsure of, that is a potential question. And I think it's better you ask it now that you have people rather than sending emails later on. We are right here to support you and to provide answers to your questions right now. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Okay. Okay, so yes, so international students that are coming here, depending on the country where you're coming from, there are different requirements. But the requirement is that you need to demonstrate that you have IELTS up to a specific level, or if you've undertaken studies in English, the admissions have a way of matching it up with the requirement, with the current requirements. So there is that requirement to demonstrate that you have evidence of English language for you to come into these programs. Yes. And yes, Mary, if you go on with your question, if I should be able to answer it as well. So, if I'm getting this right, so as Jenny specified, you need to demonstrate evidence of English language for admission from, if you're from Nigeria, which is majorly uh, an, an English-speaking country, more or less. You need to still demonstrate that you have that proficiency in English language and for you to be admitted into the program. And the IELTS minimum score is around about 6.0 for the uni, and every program have their own cutoff points as well. You receive an unconditional offer to this. So if you've received an unconditional offer and you are expected to start in September, so if you've paid your deposit, you've got your costs for your visa application, then things I feel you should know is to start looking or thinking about where you are potentially going to stay. So the decision is all yours. Are you going to be staying on campus or do you have a family member here? If you're staying on campus, there are steps that you need to go through to get an apartment within the student accommodation. And you can do that. However, if you have a family member here or if you have families here, then it's all up to you to decide where you want to stay. So we've got the student accommodation that is less than 5 minutes walk from campus to your apartment, or you have the choice of going out there to stay outside of the student accommodation. It's all up to you, but the student accommodation is something that we promote because it's very close by, it's easily accessible, and but it's very much up to you. That is one point that I think you need to really get sorted out before you make the move. Where are you going to stay? In terms of the lifestyle here in Glasgow, there's nothing too different from, to be honest, from where you are coming from. You find people like yourselves. You find people from your name, Mary. I think you are from Ghana, so you find Ghanaians here. There are a lot of Ghanaian families around here in Glasgow that you can easily network with, and I think that support is there for you when you come in. You have places that can cater for your needs in terms of your feeding, and if you're thinking about what sort of African kind of food can you get here, all these are provided here. There are shops around here that you can easily access things that you need. When you come in here, there is a student association that will basically sort of support you through the process of your study here. You meet like-minded students like you. They'll talk you through how things work. They'll buddy you up with other people, and the support mechanisms that we have on campus at GCU that will make you still feel like you are home away from your home. So basically, I think these are some of the things that you can access when you come in here. So, Jenny, I believe that there is the guys that come in from West Africa. They have this how do I say it? The degrees that they have from their high school. They use that as a benchmark with the requirements from IELTS and for admissions and stuff like that. So I think that there's a way that they match it up if it's equivalent to the requirement for an IELTS and things like that. The admissions will do that. But if you don't have that, then that there's a requirement that you have an IELTS at least a minimum of 6.0. But coming in from Ghana and Nigeria, where majorly your studies are conducted in English, then you shouldn't have a problem, I think. Yes, Mary, yeah, I was in Ghana for a conference last October, and I think I used the opportunity to do some networking for students, and I presented to students that wanted to come study here at GCU. And so it's good to see someone coming from Ghana as well to coming over here. Yeah, the student that was meant to be here to talk to you is actually a Nigerian student that's currently studying ICPM just now, and he is the class rep for the cohort that he came in. Yeah, he came in September, and he's your class rep for that cohort. And it would have been good to have him here, so you can ask him questions too. Is there any other question from anyone at all? Question about the program, question about Glasgow, question about the university itself. I think we are all here to kind of support you through that. So there are different scholarship opportunities that are available to students from different parts of the world. So I don't know of anyone that is specific to Ugandans, but on our university web page, and when you apply, you see the different types of opportunities or scholarship opportunities that are available. And I think it's up to the student to check if that applies to their own home country. So I can't give you anything specific that is for Uganda. Martin, if I've addressed that, or if you have any other If you need any clarification on that, you might just type in a follow-on questions to that. I am not exactly clear on the deadline for payments of deposits. That is not part of what I do. I'm just from the academic side, so maybe Jenny should be able to provide some answers to that regarding deposit for September start. Thanks for that, Jenny. So, you're welcome. Guys, if you have anything at all that you need to just clarify, I think it's your opportunity to ask it right here. So this is just my advice to you guys. So when you come in here, everything seems new, most especially regarding the program and what you need to do and how to get your head around everything, all the information that you have access to. Aside the induction sessions that you will have, it's always important to buddy up with a student that's already here that you can ask questions that can show you how to do things pretty easily. So I believe in this show me, tell me strategy where someone who knows what they are doing basically can signpost you and tell you this is how you do it. This is how you access course materials. This is where you go to when you need support for the library. This is where you go to when you need support for academic writing. Yes, all this information will be provided in your induction, but it's always ideal to buddy up with someone who's already here and who knows how the system works. That way, you won't really struggle too much. You can hit the ground running. And if you come onto this program too, I will be here to provide support, signpost you, and meet up with students on a face-to-face basis. So I think that is part of my role too, to support you right through your study period here. So Jenny, if there's no question coming, should that be it? Okay, so guys, thank you so much for your attendance. I'm hoping that